I want to know who motherfucker presenting it here tonight. Hold on, hold on.
Keep letting you back in. How can I explain myself?
To get a better understanding of Christianshavn Torv, let's take a look at its history. Christianshavn Torv dates all the way back to 1617, and since then it has been used by the Royal Orphanage, a police station, several prisons, and finally as a vegetable market for locals. Now, Christianshavn Torv is used by pedestrians as an area to hang out, browse local pop-up shops, and most importantly, get to and from public transportation. The public transportation of Christianshavn Torv is usually very busy because it's close to Christiania, a popular attraction. Observing Christianshavn Torv at night, one can quickly see how important the role of public transportation is in shaping the character of the city square. Almost everyone is either coming from or going to the metro or bus stop. At night, there's almost no lighting in Christianshavn Torv, which prevents it from being a good area for people to stop and socialize. Here you can see an overview of Christianshavn Torv from a satellite. Despite it having a prime location next to a canal, Christianshavn Torv does a fairly poor job of integrating natural beauty within its own landscape. As you can see, the canal is kept separate from the rest of the square, and in the square there are only 7 trees. The square is surrounded by many stores, but since most of them don't have outdoor seating areas, they don't provide any additional way for people to interact with each other. Due to this, you can see that most of the activity in the square comes from pedestrians passing through the center, as well as people using the seating around the perimeter of the square. Also to be noted are bike racks scattered throughout the square, which limit the usable area of the square. Now let's take a look and see just how the square is arranged. This is the layout of the square. The small lines represent bike racks, and the smaller rectangles represent seating areas. There are many seating areas in the square which provide people with a place to sit down and talk for a while. They are used fairly often during the course of the day. The dotted rectangles represent pop-up stores that are frequently in the square, while the larger rectangles and rounded rectangles represent more permanent features of the square. Here are some common paths of pedestrians through the square. Most of the paths go to and from the bus or metro, or pass straight through the square. Among the permanent facilities are a bathroom, which draw people in, an old booth which is now out of use. There are also 3 Greenland monuments which serve as a place for people to meet up and hang out. The square is also frequented by many pop-up shops that attract people passing by and start many small conversations. Pictured here is a flower shop, a fish store, and a coffee vendor. There's also a hot dog stand that is not pictured here. Christianshavn Torv has become, at its heart, an area for commuters to pass through. It provides a place for passive social interaction such as people watching and overhearing conversations. The pop-up stores also help liven the scene and engage passers-by. There are also many intimate areas for sitting down, having real conversation, and drinking a cold beer with a friend. Christianshavn Torv may not have structured activities like some public areas, but it still succeeds as a place for people to gather together.